Welcome back, all you kings, queens, and in-betweens, to another video here on the channel. Today is a card game review in honor of the Minecraft movie that's out in theaters. And we are going to be discussing Minecraft Explorers. It is a fun card game, a cooperative card game, and we're going to be telling you how to play it. We're going to be giving our thoughts, and then we're also going to be doing a Let's Play, probably in a separate video. And we hope you stick through all of them. Right, Elaine?
Yay!
So starting off, we're going to talk about how you set up the game. The cards that come in the game are your chest cards, your landscape cards, your monster cards, your mob cards, I think they call them. And then you have the game over card, which gets shuffled into the bottom 4 pile, and it gets put on the bottom of the mob deck. One mob is revealed. And you're going to put out 5 landscape cards, and you're going to put out, they suggest the chest cards 1 through 5 for your first couple of playthroughs. And then you're going to find the food cards that are right here, and the nighttime card. I think it's called nighttime.
Yep.
And this is just a thing you pass back and forth to indicate that you have to reveal a mob. And the structure of the game is really simple. You give this to one of the players. Since it's cooperative, you're just basically passing these back and forth. And you're using your food to pay for different things. So in the case of the landscape cards, you say would pay 3 food if you want to reveal this landscape card. And this one happens to have a crossbow. This also means that you have to reveal an extra monster card. That indicator is here. So if the landscape card has the mob symbol, then it has a chance of having a certain number of mobs revealed. You can also spend food to kill monsters or mobs. So this one costs 3 to kill. And then they just become trophies. And each pair of the same trophies also counts as 1 food. So you can use it as a resource as well once they're killed. The object of the game is you're trying to reveal landscape cards to get resources to put under these chests. Once you have 4 of these chests with their requisite number of resources under them, you win the game. And each time you close a chest by putting the correct resources in there, you get an auto kill on one of the mobs that's out. So you're spending resources, and at the end of the turn, you are playing this card repeatedly, which just makes you reveal a mob card. If you reveal a mob card that matches a mob card that's already out on the field, you then keep revealing until you reveal a mob card that does not match a mob that's already on the field. Super simple, barely an inconvenience. Did I miss anything?
You did. You forgot to mention that based off the number of players, you remove a certain number of monsters at the beginning of the game and put them back in the box.
In the case of 2 players, you take out 7.
These lovely chests will vary based off of how difficult you want the game to be. So right now we have set up for an easy game with only 5 chests, of which we have to close 4 by supplying them with the right items.
Yeah. And you also, in order to put items underneath the chests or into the chest thematically, you have to pay a food. And if you pay a food, you can put any number of resources you have under the requisite chests that they need to go under.
1 food can also be used to pay to replenish the landscape board.
Yeah, they do not auto replenish. So once you've revealed them and there's empty spaces, you do have to pay that 1 food to reveal the landscapes. This one's an interesting one. You need to get the sponge, and this is only available by the undersea biome, and that costs 7. So that's a big one to try and reveal because you only have 6. So that means you have to have a pair or some other way of discounting the food. And there's only 1 of these in the landscape pile. And the only other way you can find it, besides just randomly revealing it, is you can trade with villagers. And by trading with villagers, you are able to sometimes get the map, which there's 1 card that gives you the map if you trade an emerald or some other resource.
There are also swords and pickaxes, which can reduce the cost of exploring and or beating monsters and things like that.
Yep. These will indicate when you're able to use food, use swords instead of food, or things like pickaxes here. This indicates the likelihood of finding certain resources under these landscapes, but when you see them on the mobs, it means you're able to use a sword in place of some of the food. So did I miss anything now?
The last person to play Minecraft goes first.
Yes. And I did mention that you shuffle the game over card into the bottom 4 cards, and once you draw the game over card, you lose. So that's what you're kind of racing against. So now that everybody knows how to play, what do we want to say about this game?
I would say that this game is very unforgiving. I feel like we've played numerous matches where we just wind up hitting the same monster over and over, and then before you know it, a large chunk of our monster deck is depleted, and we are much, much closer to losing the game. And I find that really frustrating when this game has a, quote, easy setting and a normal mode, hard, and extreme. And even the easy mode isn't really that easy, and there's no way to really plan around it. Another issue I have is having chests. Okay, you don't need to get all of them, no matter what's out there, but chests where you can get an item, but there's only one item in the entire deck that can fulfill that chest. And there's an item to help you find it, but if you don't have access to that item or access to that biome, you can never get that chest, which is problematic when you play harder difficulties where maybe you have 2 chests like that, and hey, you can't get either, and you just lose. And it's not because you're bad, it's because the game hates you, I guess.
It's just unlucky, because there's another one that's the Woodland Mansion where you need the Totem of Undying.
You
that's
got
in
there.
And that also works with the map, where you can reveal the Totem of Undying mansion card, or you can reveal the underwater one. But that's the same thing where it's one item that only comes off one card.
And the interesting thing is when you first start playing the game, they suggest you use chests 1 through 5, which are pictured here. 5 is the one with the sponge, which is one of the cards with only one iteration in the entire landscape pile. But there are chests that have items like pickaxes and armor, which are more plentiful and things that you're more likely to get, but they're considered harder chests. And genuinely speaking, I don't understand why that is. For me, I feel like the fact that there's only one item and one way of getting this makes it a lot harder to get that item and a lot harder to win, and it's not counterbalanced by the benefit of going after things like a pickaxe or a sword. And they're not counterbalanced by the fact that you have to race against this monster board within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and the difficulty scaling really only makes it harder on the player. Yes, that makes sense, but it doesn't counterbalance it with anything. You're still removing the same amount of mobs, and you're just adding to the amount that you have to get done, and there's not really any way to get better at the game beyond, okay, maybe I don't want to waste certain resources, but once you've played it on easy mode several times, you kind of have it boiled down to what you have to play, and there's no way to really improve on that when you increase the difficulty, and we regularly lose on easy mode and lose even more when we start scaling the difficulty up. I don't really see how, I guess if you really want to challenge and you want to be done real quick, then you can just scale up the difficulty. But I do appreciate that they do have a scalable difficulty. I like the mechanics of the game in general. I think it's a fun game. I like that you're managing a resource and then you're managing secondary resources based on what you're getting with your primary resource. I don't really understand the point of having to pass this back and forth. I don't get it.
It's just a reminder.
Yeah, it's just a reminder that you have to do this, but you could just build it into the rules and say that at the end of every player's turn you have to reveal mobs. I don't get the passing the card back and forth, but because we basically just put it down on the table typically when we play and just know that we have to reveal a mob at the end of our turn. But I don't know. In general, I like the mechanics of the game. I do think it's very unforgiving. I do not see how there's any way for us to improve to win more often outside of just luck of the draw. And that's kind of my only complaint with it. It's a very quick game. So if you lose, you can just play again relatively quickly. You go through this deck pretty fast. Sometimes you can get unlucky and the game over is higher up in that bottom set that you shuffle it into, or sometimes it's the last card. And yeah. So would you recommend people try this game?
No, I think it's too unforgiving and not balanced very well. I don't understand how a single iteration of an item is easier to get than multiple iterations of a different item.
Yeah. So I would recommend that if you can get it on the cheap, I don't know what normal retail is. We got this for very, very cheap, just like on a clearance rack. And so we picked it up. But if you can get it for like $10,
It's
$5?
normally $10. We bought it for less than $5, dear.
All right. So if you can get it for $5, pick it up. You might be able to stretch it out to $10. Like you get it at actual retail. If you just want a fun card game, or if you have kids that are, this is 8+. So if you got 8 to 12-year-olds that really like Minecraft, or they went and saw the Minecraft movie and they want to, be Steve, they want to be Jack Black, then get this card game and they'll probably have fun with it. It's easy to understand. There's not really any reading or anything. Though you can speak many languages, because this comes with, 6 instruction booklets in here in different languages. So I find that interesting. This is one copy. They're just shipping it around the world. But yeah, it's a fun game if you can get it for the cheap. So that's kind of our recommendations. No. And yeah, maybe. If you want to see more of this card game content, let us know down in the comments below. What are the things you want us to review? What other games are on your list to play this year? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this content going forward. Like the video if you liked it, and ring that bell so you know what's up. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Hi, Tisha Valenza, aka Poison Ivy, and you've just been watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.